Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Pulse Pods. Are you trying to find true meaning to life and living? Then you are at the right place. I am DJ El Pablo, your host for Pulse Pods. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pulse Pods. We are in the Live, Love, Learn series, episode 7. I just want to thank you for listening in all through this period from episode 1 to 6. And I just want to appreciate you for your reviews, especially from the last episode. In the last episode, we talked about the 10 ways in which smart people stay calm. And I can't begin to tell you all about it or even try to summarize it. Just go and have a listen and send in your reviews. But in this episode, we're going to take another dimension to things in the Live, Love, Learn series, or 3L series for short. In this episode, we're going to be talking about pride, virtue, or vice. First, we're going to ask this question, the burning question: what is pride? Pride is a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's achievements, the ones of those with whom one is closely associated with, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Also, confidence in self-respect as expressed by members of a group, typically one that has been socially marginalized or on the basis of their shared identity, culture, and experience. But that's not a dimension I would want to delve into. The dimension I would like to talk about is pride, being an inwardly directed emotional term that carries two meanings. Now, the two meanings we're talking about are, first, the negative pride. Negative pride connotes to a foolishly and irrationally corrupt sense of one's personal value, status, or accomplishments. Simply put, pride is a wrong and foolish estimation of who you really are. That is negative pride we're talking about. Another question is, do you know who you truly are? That's one of our new episodes coming up later, and that would be titled Identity. In Judaism, pride is the root of all evil. That is talking about negative pride. With a positive connotation, pride is a humble and content sense of attachment towards one's own or another's choices and actions, or toward a whole group of people, and is a product of praise, independent or self-reflection, and a fulfilled feeling of belonging. Talking about positivity, pride can be viewed as a virtue. That is, pride in one's ability is known as a virtuous pride, greatness of soul, or magnanimity. So from the negative point of view, it can be a vice, meaning it can be self-idolatry, sadistic contempt, vanity, or vainglory. So it would often manifest itself as a high opinion of one's notion or one's nation. So we're talking about national pride or ethnicity, that is ethnic pride. In fact, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. We're talking about negative pride here. More like, see me, I'm beautiful. If you want to know what pride looks like, look at the peacock. The way the peacock actually raises its tail to show, oh yeah, I'm beautiful. That's what pride looks like. St. Augustine said, "Pride changed angels into devils, and it's humility that makes men as angels." Pride changed angels into devils, and it's humility that makes men as angels. Now that we have understood the difference in virtue and vice pride, here are some of the examples of the two types of pride where we've been talking about. The first one is vice pride. For example, vice pride, letting you or your family or friends suffer because you do not want to help. That is vice pride or negative pride, as the case may be. Using pride to put others down, that is also vice pride. Measuring our achievements against someone else's versus our own previous performance. So that's basically it. Now, virtue pride. Virtue pride, for example, you worked hard towards a goal and accomplished it. That is basking in your glory and saying, "Oh, I'm proud of what I've done or achieved." Using pride to maintain a certain standard in the things you do, and that is, for example, for entrepreneurs, say because you have a standard in which you do things, people think you're proud, but that is a misplaced or misunderstood explanation of pride. So you are proud of who you have become. Well, that is another way of saying, making efforts to become better, and then being proud of where you are, who you are, and who you have become, and how far you've come. Now, pride is having a feeling of being good and worthy. That is more like, I would say, positive pride or virtue pride. The adjective of pride is proud. So the word pride can be used in a good and a bad sense. In a bad sense, it is an exaggerated sense of feeling good, while basically pride could be termed as a healthy and unhealthy pride. Now the differences are: healthy pride is about self-confidence, more like a can-do attitude, more like satisfying achievements, more like nothing succeeds like success, more like drive to want to achieve more, to want to do more. This actually gives you the drive to do more. That's what positive or healthy pride does. While unhealthy pride, on the other hand, you may have been driven to succeed, but the dynamics of the motivation is rather different. So more like they are driven to prove themselves to themselves or for others to see. They're also driven to prove themselves to others. But that's a wrong motive. So the reason is that deep down they feel insecure. People who have unhealthy pride, they feel insecure and they have self-doubt. A bit like the feeling of shame. They may come across as bullheadedly confident and cocky. That's unhealthy pride. Now, healthy pride is authentic, accurate, realistic, and it's more real in the estimation of one's self and abilities, while unhealthy pride is more like a distorted claim about one's abilities and capacities, and is easily given to bragging. So finally, pride is not egocentric. That's why those with healthy pride take pride in their achievements and that of others. They are also proud of their family, friends, loved ones, and even foes, even someone who is struggling as well. So pride is not egocentric, and that is pride is not self-centered. Pride also cares for others. So I would like to thank all of you for listening. I would like to thank you for making efforts to listening and to send in your comments and all. In our next episode, episode 8, we will be bringing in our guest. She's a boy-child advocate, and we will be talking about all things boy-child development. So I look forward to having her here. I just want to thank you for your support and all of the things that you do. God bless your heart, and please always have a healthy pride. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Pulse Pods today, and I hope you've been able to learn something new and something interesting. Pulse Pods is now on social media, and that's interesting. So to search for Pulse Pods on Twitter, just search at Pulse Pods. That is at PAULZPODZ. And you can also search for me, DJ El Pablo, on Twitter at DJ El Pablo _ that is DJ ELPABLO _ and on Instagram as at DJ El Pablo. Thank you for listening, and God bless your heart.